Make MMA interesting again. That's been my ploy for a long time. Joaquin Buckley doing his best job to do it, dude. Joaquin Buckley and Ian Garry getting into a very interesting conflict because, as you guys may know, there's a history of drama between Ian and, well, I guess like the entire community going after Ian's wife and the wife trying to, I don't know, you guys remember that whole incident, obviously. And now Joaquin Buckley has made that his fight now. And we are going to go through that right now because he put out a video on X where he is narrating this incident that happened between him and Ian Garry's wife. And oh my God, it's unbelievable. Okay. And I just want to reiterate the following. Okay. This is what I want to tell everybody. This is how you do the fight game. Now, I see Ariel, Ariel does a little clip here with Ian Garry where he, clutches his pearls. He's like, this is beyond what I am comfortable with, because Ian Garry, listen, that's your wife. She should not be brought into this. Okay. Joaquin Buckley is saying that he's going to pound out your wife or that she was propositioning him while at the fight or at the press conference. That's not cool. Now, what do you think about Ian Garry? And you're like, Ariel, why are you bringing it up? If it's like, are you kidding me? Is anybody stupid enough to not recognize what Ariel's doing there? So we're going to show that and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, man, let's do this. I'm in. Let's go. MMA all day. So as we discussed yesterday, we're coming off of a pretty fantastic performance by Ian Garry. Obviously it came out in the end like this and, he withstood it. He almost got finished at the end, but he didn't. And he won a pretty dominant performance, in my opinion, all in all, and looked very, very good doing it. Joaquin Buckley is the other nightmare at 170. I think that you have the top of the division. You have, Bilal, and then you got Brady, and then you got, Jack Della Magdalena. But I think the two guys that are the real nightmares at 170 are right there. Ian Garry and Joaquin Buckley. Those those guys are killers. And Joaquin Buckley, man, I have a lot of respect for Kamaru Usman, but geez, man, I do not like his chances in that fight. And neither does Ian Garry. He talks about it here. So we're going to jump into some of these clips, and that's what we're going to do. If you have not subscribed to the channel, you guys feel free to do that. That would be incredibly helpful. But don't feel obligated. It's not that big a deal. Anyway, okay, so let's watch what Joaquin Buckley did here because good God, this is bananas. So this is Joaquin Buckley narrating this interaction between him and Ian Garry's wife.
What up, y'all? Y'all know I had to pull up on Ian Garry at the weigh-in for talking all that mess in this little interview. So I'll wait till he get done. I'm waiting patient. As soon as I pull up, boom, she bumped right into me. She gonna use the baby as a shield, pass him off to him. So I'm like, all right, I'll let you have that one. But as soon as I'm about to turn around, she comes over to me, caress my arm, and say, I'm gonna see you later on tonight. Girl, what the fuck that mean? I'm trying to see him, not you.
Now, let me just say one thing here, okay? First of all, if we turn the sound off and watch this again, she very clearly did not see him, okay? She walked up to bring the baby to Ian Garry. And when she turned back around, see, watch, as he's about to go up there, she is already going out. She definitely didn't see him. Watch. She gets up. She doesn't even look in his direction. And she gets up. See, she didn't even notice that he was there. So she was just bringing the baby to Ian. And then when she turns to him, just forget about what he said, right? Look at her interaction with him, right? She's like, hi. And she's like, oh, hey. She's like, I'm being super nice. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Ian and her both seem to be doing the same thing, which is they're so overly nice to everyone that I'm like, that's exactly what a wife should do. It's be nice to everybody. But man, Ian needs to get mean, in my opinion. Start being mean. I feel like he's always taking note of how people are reacting to him because he cares about his, his image as a fighter and all that. And I think when he went at Neil Magny the way that he did, which was really gross, the way he went at Neil Magny where he acted like Neil Magny had beat up his kids, Okay. And that ended up being this massive problem for Neil Magny. Like Neil Magny ended up almost losing custody of his kids because of it. Like that was a serious problem. And Neil Magny, all he said was that he was going to whoop him like he was a boy teaching him a lesson. It's just like a throwaway hype a fight line that like Ian Garry's way younger than him. And so he's going to, he's going to sun him a little bit. And Ian Garry turned into this whole thing and that blew up in his face. I think that Ian Garry was like, you know what? I'm not doing that stuff anymore. I'm just going to focus on, I'm just going to be super nice and respectful now. And now he goes in, he's high-fiving everybody in the middle of the fight, high-five between every round. And it's like every time they have a good exchange, he's like, all right, good job, man. And I'm like, I don't know. I see what he's doing. It makes me kind of like him because if a person's only nice all the time, like how are you going to not like them? But I also think it's like, I mean, why don't you just be nice after the fight? Like right now, you guys are trying to take each other's heads off. You can tell them how much you respect them afterwards. This is 2 fights in a row that he's done that. And I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't love that. I don't love that, dude. I've heard Rogan specifically say he doesn't like it. I've heard Daniel Cormier say it. And I know most people do not like that, Just fight. You don't need to, stroke each other off in the middle of the octagon. Now, let's go to some other stuff that was said by Buckley, and then we'll go to the Ariel Helwani clip. My man tried to wrestle. My man tried to hold on for dear life, but I feel like Ian Garry played himself. He really could have had a performance of the night, a performance of the night type ending, but he was too scared. He turned Ian Garry to the booty warrior. What? Okay. Now, I saw this too. And then I promise we're going right here, which is Ariel and Ian. And Ian's doing this. He's doing this interview from the airport, and it actually sounds pretty good, which is shocking. I have never been able to even have a phone conversation from the airport without it sounding awful. But he said he's open to a super fight with Islam Makhachev. Okay, I don't understand why that's even relevant because why would Islam Makhachev go up to 170 and fight somebody who's not holding the belt? That's weird. I mean, of course Ian Garry would be open to that, but I've said before. I do not like that matchup for Islam at all. Like, at all. That's a bad matchup for Islam, dude. And I will say that now. If they ever end up fighting, and they're still both in their prime, you will see that I think that I'm going to be correct about that. Now, let's listen to Ariel and Ian Garry discuss this incident because Ariel is so disingenuous with this stuff, in my opinion, dude. Like, If you're so appalled by people bringing up people's families, then why are you bringing attention to that on your show, right? Like you are literally doing exactly what Buckley's doing.
Yeah, you can piggyback off of this or not. You can comment on it or not. But can I just say, and I saw what you had to say in the post-fight, I'm uncomfortable with this Joaquin Buckley stuff. There is a line being crossed here, and I don't think family, I don't think it needs to go there. You could sell a fight, you could pick a fight. That's the game. This is uncomfortable for me to watch. How do you not respond? I saw you didn't want it to, like, this is different stuff, no?
It's just desperation. That's all it is. It's quite sad. It's desperation. He can't generate enough talk about himself by doing the stuff he does. So he needs to try to piggyback off other people. It's okay though. Let him be.
Listen, I understand that there's a lot of people who are never going to change their mind about Ian Garry. They're like, I hate that guy. He's whatever. Dude, the guy has demonstrated in the face of all this stuff with his wife. It's his wife. Okay? It's his wife. He's married to her. They have children. They have a kid. He raises her kids. Like, she is the closest person to him in the world. And all these Neanderthals in the UFC out here like us are all going after her. And he's handled it with very, he doesn't engage. Okay. He's defended her a little bit. He didn't bite on the bait too much. And he just reacts like this every time. He doesn't let it bother him. He doesn't care. Like, he genuinely does not care, which I think is gangster, to be honest. Cause like, that has to be hard for anybody who buys in even a little bit to what people say online or whatever. Right? Like, you have to be completely detached from what people say about you online to be able to accept people talking about your wife all the time. And you just kind of are like, it's just desperation, man. It just means her and him have talked about it. And it's like, dude, we just can't let this get under our skin. This is our life. They have nothing to do with us. I'm going to go and win my fights. We're going to promote the fights. This is our life. We're not going to let it bother us anymore. And then he lives it. He doesn't let it get under their skin at all. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty impressive.
Is he in the crosshairs? Do you need to get that one?
My man's focusing on trying to get all the content he can with me this weekend. Meanwhile, he's got a fight. He should focus on his fight, get his fight done, and then we'll see where the future goes.
Do you think he wins that
Meanwhile,
fight?
I think he runs through Usman. I don't think he wins him. I think he demolishes him.
Okay. So then he's kind of in the picture then if he wins that fight.
Again, I still think it's Bilal next.
Yeah.
And then I think I win the belt, and like I know I can. And then I'd absolutely welcome up Islam and Shavkat rematch. Like either order of that, but that's the way I'm going with it. Because Shavkat is the number one contender, but I injured him, so he's out for a while. So when he comes back, everyone deserves the respect to let him go next. That's what he earned that night. But if Islam wants to come up, he's the pound for pound number one. So it's either way. I don't see that. I'd beat Bilal, and then it's Islam or Shavkat next, and then the other one will be after.
Wow. Well, I imagine that some of you more locked in guys will have already corrected me in the comments by saying that when he said the thing about Islam Makhachev, he was saying he had already won the belt. Okay. Well, I apologize. I had only watched the first half of that clip with Ariel before I started recording. So, yeah, he answered that question. I think that I don't disagree with anything that he said. I think he should get the next title shot if Shavkat's injured, and then Shavkat can get the next one. And I'm sure Dana will be ecstatic about that situation. That his welterweight title fight will be Shavkat and Ian Garry, or Ian Garry and Islam, or whatever, versus what he has. I think he'd be very excited to have those guys as the belt holders, because you got a massive market over in Khabib land over there. And they are ecstatic about Shavkat. And Shavkat is a super exciting fighter to watch. People love him. He's got kind of the exact same thing going as Alex Pereira. I've never really made that connection before, because some guys that don't speak English, or they don't speak English well, and they come in and they're quiet, they don't really engage in the trash talk, and they fight. There's like this, I don't know, there's this air of kind of irrelevance about them, even if they're really, really good. And that is not at all obviously how Alex Pereira is, and that's never been how Shavkat is either. They have major relevance. There's just the way that people can carry it. It's charisma doesn't necessarily have to come through language. I've never actually even said those words out loud before, but I feel like that's actually a pretty profound statement that I just made. First time I've ever thought it. First time I've ever said it. If you stayed around this long in the video, you heard it. But a guy can be super charismatic, and even if they don't speak your language, you can look and you can see it. You're like, damn, that dude is a beast, right? And Ian Garry will make a fantastic champion. Because even if you don't like him, you really don't like him. Now, he's also going to have to fight Joaquin Buckley. I think Joaquin Buckley is going to be right there. And Joaquin Buckley, same thing. Dude, Joaquin Buckley against Ian Garry would be a banger. Okay? That's the fight. Okay? You want to know what the fight is? The fight at welterweight is going to be Buckley against Ian Garry. Bet that, dude. And if you think about it like this, okay, stylistically, the best fight at welterweight, where the two guys, there are going to be fireworks. It's going to be nightmare fuel for somebody or both guys, is Buckley against Ian Garry. That is going to be a banger of a fight. And right now, you have Buckley publicly saying that Ian Garry's wife tried to take him home while she's on video grabbing his arm, right? I mean, it's not true, but it's hilarious, and it's a great backdrop for the fight. That means Ian Garry can't do the high five thing, okay? You can't do the mid-fight high five if the guy implied that his wife was going to cuck him with him, right? Give me that fight. And again, I will just say, I'm not necessarily saying that Ariel doesn't believe what he's saying. He might totally think think family's off limits and all that. And I was quick to acknowledge that I was wrong about that WAG book. Okay, I'm just gonna say that, right? I did the first, when that WAG book first came out, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, bro, she wrote a book about how to snag a pro athlete." Like, obviously that looked real bad, but when I actually read it, I was like, oh my God, okay, it's comedy for sure. Like, this was obviously satire. It's a weird coincidence, but that is satire. The whole thing, with the ex-husband, and I was like, okay, I can see how this actually makes sense where she wants to keep her kid with their family. There's only one way to do it, because you can't take a kid away from the other parent if you're not together anymore, right? So I lit him up at first for sure. But then I backed off of it and I acknowledged, like, okay, I can see how this all works out, whatever, But nonetheless, right? Nonetheless, I think that fight is the one. That's the fight. I can't wait to see it. They definitely should not do it before it's a title fight, in my opinion, because good God, that is going to sell tickets. I'll go. I will go to that fight. Do it in St. Louis. Do that fight in St. Louis, Buckley's hometown. Or maybe take it back to Ireland, dude. You need a new Irish boy. Conor sure as hell isn't going to fight. I don't think. Unless Dustin Poirier wins the BMF and then they give Conor an immediate shot at the BMF belt, then maybe he comes back. Who knows? Anyway, but again, I just, going back to my point about Ariel, it's like, it just feels, it feels opportunistic to bring it up to Ian, because it's like, okay, obviously, that if you ask Ian about it, then you're going to be able to take that clip and then put it out on your social media, exactly like he did right here, which means you are actively participating in what Buckley did while pretending to clutch your pearls as if you're so taken aback by anyone talking about the family. It's like, come on, dude. Okay. Now I realize some people may not be able to figure all of that out, but I'm telling you, there is no question that Ariel knew for sure, if he asked him about it, that he would be able to use the clip. And so he is literally doing exactly what Buckley was doing. Buckley initiated it. Ariel shined a light on it to make sure everybody saw it. I don't know, dude. I mean, listen, I would do the same thing. For the record, I would do the exact same thing. Okay. I wouldn't talk about I wouldn't talk about a guy's wife who I'm fighting, but I would certainly ask him about it. So I'm not saying Ariel's doing anything I wouldn't do. I'm just saying, come on. Let's not pretend that this is some huge ethical issue, right? Anyway, that's what I got. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Bye-bye.